Welcome to The Real Thing, Richard Kiel. How you going, mate?
Well, hi, Paul. I'm getting along great. How about yourself?
I'm not doing too bad. We're here to talk about Supernova, of course. You're coming out for that. You've done so many cool movies like Silver Streak, Force 10 from Navarone, some of my favourites. But, of course, your most iconic role is Jaws in The Spy Who Loved Me and Moonraker. Can you tell us a bit about the role of Jaws, how that came into your life?
Well, I was interviewed by the producer, Cubby Broccoli, and I had a few ideas on how I would like to play the role. And he liked them and invited me to his home that night for dinner to meet his wife and his children and to meet the writer. And I got the part.
The rest is history, as they say.
Yeah, absolutely. And then went on to do all these other movies like Pale Rider with Clint Eastwood, the Western, and Cannonball 2 with Jackie Chan. I drove one of the race cars. And so, I've had a really varied career. I'm very, very, very blessed.
Jaws is he's a henchman who doesn't give up. I mean, he gets crushed by a car and by bricks. He gets electrocuted and thrown off a train.
Yeah, you got it. I mean, that was the things I suggested to Cubby Broccoli, that he would be vulnerable, that he would be determined, perseverant, and that he would just brush off his clothes and straighten his tie and come back and go after, do his job.
Do you think that's why he's such an iconic character, because he just doesn't give up?
Yeah, I think so. I think that also perhaps that for the first time the audience saw an adversary in Jaws that just might get James Bond, because James Bond always wins, right? And maybe this time, maybe he won't. And so they were kind of waiting to see how that turned out. And it was kind of a draw,
With the longevity of the series, was part of the appeal for you to become like an icon? Did you ever think that would be...
Well, I had no idea that Jaws would become an icon and become so popular with the Bond fans. I like the James Bond movies myself, and I thought, well, I'll do the best I can with this, and just applied the things that I learned in acting over the years, and turned out well for me.
What's your favorite film of the ones you did, Moonraker or The Spy Who Loved Me?
Well, actually, The Spy Who Loved Me is a little more dramatic, and Moonraker was a little more fun, and it appealed to a wider audience range. The young people liked it, and the old people liked it, and all the 18 to 30-year-olds liked it as well. And so it held the record for box office up until that time, and then kept holding the record for another 10 or 12 years until they made GoldenEye. And like Skyfall, there was a big delay between the film before GoldenEye, and so it did really, really well. I think Skyfall is going to be a great film.
Yeah, it looks amazing. I'm really excited. I'm a huge Bond fan as well, so it's great to speak to you today. Another film I'm a huge fan of is Happy Gilmore. When you made that film...
Oh, yeah, that's my biggest fan base next to James Bond. I have like 3 great photos. I've got one with the nail in the head, bending the 9-iron. And I've got one where I say, you can count on me waiting for you in the parking lot. And then I've got one with Adam Sandler.
You just made my day right there.
Yeah. I'm wearing that shirt that says, "Guns don't kill people, I kill people."
When you made that film, did you think it would introduce you to a whole new generation of fans, or did you just think it was just another role?
Well, I didn't realize how big that was going to be. It's a film that the young people maybe watch 10 or 15 times. It was the first film that Adam Sandler did to more of an adult audience. Well, the previous films like Billy Madison and the other film he did was more for the teenagers. And then he went on to do films that that the women liked, like The Wedding Singer, and he got like a whole new audience and expanded it. But Happy Gilmore was a huge success on video, and that was great for me in my career. And I have a lot of fans from that movie.
Definitely.
Another one that I just did was Tangled for Disney, their 50th animated movie.
Of course,
I played the voice of Vladimir, and And that's a very, very popular movie with the young people and the parents and old people. You know.
Every generation has got something to identify you with. It's pretty cool. Does that feel like a
Yeah,
good
it is
thing?
cool. You know, and I've got my best role ever coming up later on this year, or perhaps in the spring, called Overlord,
Oh, cool.
where I play an intellectual badass, kind of a guy that would be like a mega villain in the Bond movies, a corporate conglomerate owner, super rich, but he's handicapped because he lost the use of his legs, trying to save the women and children from the aliens who kill his daughter. So he has a real axe to grind with the aliens and a lot of motivation to get them. And it's a wonderful role, a lot of dialogue and a lot of humor and a lot of drama. And I'm a great director, so I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, nice. We'll keep our eye out for that one for sure. You're coming to Australia next month for Supernova. Are you excited to meet the fans?
Yeah, absolutely. Take photos with them, smash their heads, do a little cheek-to-cheek with jaws with the ladies, and my wife's going to be along. You know, they keep an eye on me. So,
when you're at conventions like this, what's the thing you get asked the most about, or the question you get a lot?
Well, you know, what was Roger Moore like? Who was your favorite James Bond? How did you get into the movies? And I wrote a couple of books. Autobiographies called Making It Big in the Movies to cover that. And so, you know, these are the typical questions.
Well, thanks so much for speaking to us. As I said, you're going to be in Brisbane on November 9 till 11 and Adelaide November 16 till 18 for the 10th anniversary of Supernova. Thanks so much for joining us on The Real Thing. Richard Kiel.
Paul, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you, sir.